So one of the things that always intrigues me about people that are smart as you are, give yourself credit. Has there ever been a time where something hasn't matched up? What I mean by that is like things that you do in the gym for yourself, whether it be your protocol, your programming, or your diet, your nutrition, where it's like, it's not in the books, but it works for you. And you say, and you just go with that? Or has everything kind of always lined up, matching the things you've learned in the books to the actual practical doing it? Have you ever, taught somebody like, well, I train chest every day and it works for me, or something like that, which is obviously totally against what it says? Has anything kind of happen like that with you?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. Most of what is practiced hasn't yet been studied thoroughly enough to make it into books in a way that makes any sense. And when I started in this really, really formally at a deep level, sort of 10 years ago with my formal education in this regard, well, sort of 10 years ago is kind of when I had just finished my PhD. There were like not even really there were no textbooks or even books for the lay audience that were of any detail and depth on muscle hypertrophy. Like Getting Jacked was not a book that you could buy. Dr. Brad Schoenfeld wrote the first textbook in muscle hypertrophy. And then myself and my team wrote the first very technical lay audience training prescription guide that the first page in there is, hey, you should read Dr. Brad Schoenfeld's textbook before you come here to make the most out of it. So those two books combined were like, now there's books about it. And so folks that have read those books can now say like, well, yeah, actually those books match up with a lot of stuff in the gym. But that was not the case when I was younger.
Right.
And so it was a real deep passion of mine, and still is, to make sense of what's going on in the gym and your amazing facility, by the way, that you have here, of course. And it's always a challenge, and it's like a slow road, but the base reality or ground truth is the same for everyone, everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's really what's going on. Textbooks can reflect that well, but in a very limited way. Training practices reflect that super, super well, but a lot of people get stuff wrong because they haven't had like textbook knowledge with a lifetime of experience. And so really it's all about taking textbook stuff and taking practical experience that you have yourself, and then taking coaching experience that you have coaching others, and taking the wisdom of other coaches and folks like you that are like, hey, I think this works and I've seen it work in a bunch of people, and unifying all of those. And that's actually called evidence-based practice, because evidence-based practice means it's based on evidence, but there's different kinds of evidence. It's not just textbooks and studies and stuff like that. These multiple categories often conflict with each other. And we know that conflict isn't in the real world. The real world's always correct. It's the great unifier, but that means we're not looking in the most precise ways we could be, and that means something needs to change. Maybe the textbook needs to be updated. Maybe current practice is just wrong. Interesting discussion I just saw that's sort of related to this is there was a debate in the jiu-jitsu community between two fine folks, and one of them was basically saying you have to do what champions do. They know a lot of the right techniques. You have to move like them if you want to be a champion. And the other gentleman was saying, there are better, more intuitive ways to train for what your body needs. Very good systematized approach called the ecological approach. And one of this guy's rebuttals, which I thought was excellent, was he was like, okay, so you think champions kind of know it all? The other guy wasn't like, yeah, but low key. He was like, well, yeah. He was like, okay, what about basketball in the 1930s? Those guys were champions, ABA and NBA the best pros in the world. They were doing like almost everything wrong. It's like comedy now. You watch the 30s basketball and you're like, what? Right. I could have walked onto that team. Not me, you're an adult height. And then you think, okay, but champions know stuff. Of course they know stuff. And so blending those perspectives and understanding, like, even the people at the top of the field, they don't know it all, man. Right. Not yet. And scientists for sure don't know it all. But working together and unifying all of that stuff can give you a better chance at seeing a little bit more of the real world, and then doing a better job in like getting jacked or whatever.